It is time to sharpen your soft skills. Welcome, everyone, to Break Room Conversations. It's great to have the whole gang back this week. And first, I would like to pause and wish someone on the screen a very happy birthday. Who could that be? It's not me. Alberto, is it you?
Nope.
It's Tatum.
Happy birthday.
Oh, I know.
Woo-woo. Awesome. I hope you have a fantastic day.
So far, so good.
Sweet, sweet. So we are here once again, Break Room Conversations. These subjects are brought to you by your colleagues, by other salon owners, managers, stylists. So today we are going to talk about soft skills because we are preparing to go into a very busy season. And now is a time where you can really make or break it with your clients. So what are soft skills, you ask? So it's really the ability that relates to how you work with others and how you interact, just how you work in general. So it's all the soft skills. And there are a good number of soft skills. And we decided to kind of break it down to what is common in our area. So we're gonna break it down. We have five that we're gonna talk about today. So the first one, let's talk about why being friendly is important. I mean, you would think, but why is being friendly important?
Well, I think it's not only just important. I think really the question is like, how do you maintain a friendly sort of air about you? How do you always vibe as a friendly person when maybe what's going on in the background is not making you want to be really friendly? So I think that's really the big challenge. I think everyone knows how to be friendly, but do you know how to be friendly when you might not feel like you want to be friendly? I think that's really the question. Alberto, do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny because, when we teach presentation classes to the educators, this is actually a subject, especially when you're trying to present yourself to somebody new that, they'll either trust you or not right away. So that's why that friendliness is key, and having that openness.
Yeah, and I think too, it's like, I read a Disney book a while ago, and it's, the being on stage and off stage. And when we're on stage, that's when we're on the salon floor. And it's super important that we're being friendly to everyone, because we really can make or break it for our coworkers too. So even if we don't say hello to another guest or whatnot, someone might mistaken that as, oh my gosh, their staff is so rude. But we just get in our own little world, our own zone. So we have to be aware to be friendly to everyone that's around us, because that could potentially be a new guest as well. All right, so the next one, listening skills. Let's talk about this one, guys.
It's funny because all I can picture are like those memes of like the hairdresser blow drying hair and just saying, and like not even listening to anything that the guest is saying because we can't hear. But yeah, no, listening skills are huge, because especially when they're in your chair, they're trying to, tell you everything about them and their wants and desires and everything. And if you're not listening, you're not going to execute a proper consultation or give them what they're looking for. Not just that, it's their time to just vent in a way, and it all goes into that trust.
Listening skills for haircuts, Tatum. I'm sure this is color.
This is a multi-layered question, but I think that, let's just the why behind listening. It's like the number one thing people say when they leave you and go somewhere else. My hairdresser wasn't listening to me. They weren't, that's a pretty common theme. And so I think that we all think we're good listeners, and we probably are, but, really try to work in that skill in your consultations throughout the process. Sometimes clients need a place, like Alberta said, to vent, to share, and it's important for you to hear them and to listen to them, whatever they're saying from a consultation perspective, and maybe just like a life perspective. I think it's been said many, many times. I know my dad said this too, but we have two ears and one mouth, use accordingly, makes a lot of sense. And if you really want to show that you are listening, repeating back to your clients what they're saying is a very common sort of skill of listening. And that is, if just simply repeating what someone says after you've heard it helps them know that you are actually hearing them. And that's a really important skill that we should be doing all the time. But I think definitely behind the chair, if we want to have success, we have to listen.
Yeah. And I know, I mean, I'm famous for kind of zoning out sometimes to where I might not hear something correctly. And it's okay to say, let me repeat what I just heard, or, can you repeat that again, just to make sure that I'm on the same page? Like, it's okay if you zone out, just make sure that they're repeating it and that they're, being very clear with you. So, yeah.
In there, it's like blow dryers are going off, people are screaming, music's on, sometimes it's hard to listen, but that's part of the job. That's the work.
Yeah.
Or we're listening to the juicy conversation like 2 stations down.
Right.
Sometimes you have clients that don't really want to talk, and they don't really want to have you talk. They just want to chill out. So everyone's client is different, but you don't want to be caught in the habit of you're just chatterbox about your weekend and not really acknowledging the person in your chair and listening to them and just being on their same wavelength, catching their vibe and trying to vibe back with them, whether that's you talking or not talking.
Yeah. I mean, you can uncover so many things like, okay, wait, so you go swimming all the time? Is that what I'm hearing correctly? What are you using on, like, in your hair to help with that? So you really can find out a lot and help them out a lot just by listening to, what they do on a regular basis. So yeah, that's great. All right. The next soft skill, this one's already making me anxious. Cleanliness. Let's talk about this one. So first of all, why is it important to be clean?
I mean, do we even have to cover this?
Yes.
I will say this though, like, I'm a little OCD about this, and I got this from training, and the people I were assisting and my boss very simply said, I don't want someone else's hair on the brush that I'm using for this client ever. And that's something that really stuck with me. It's like, I think that we kind of don't see our own tools. And if it's got anyone else's hair other than the client you're dealing with on the brush, that's gross. And I know that half of our industry, maybe more, unfortunately, they got all kinds of people's hair on their brushes and they never clean their stuff. And so, it's just a common courtesy. This is the question I would ask. Would you put your own tools on your own head? And if you wouldn't, if you have any hesitation whatsoever, you need to clean your stuff.
Yeah.
Well, and people want a luxury experience, and that's not at all luxury. No. I mean, think about a restaurant, how grossed out would you be with that? It's the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
I get weirded out of the menus. Like, I want a fresh menu every time, and like, just, I think that's the best thing you could say is, like, you want to be a pro, like Alberto said, you got to exhibit professional like behavior and
pride,
professional environment, physically, verbally, with your vibe, audibly, if you want to charge a legit price and make a legit wage, you got to be legit. And that's everything we're talking about today.
Yeah, I love that point. That's very, very true, because everybody wants to charge more, but I mean, are those like the professional behaviors that someone would have if they're charging, what, $800 a haircut? No, absolutely not. And it's taking pride in what you do.
Yeah. So I think it's good to, when you walk into your salon tomorrow or even today after your break, walking into your station and just looking at it from a client's perspective and be like, would I sit here? And then look at yourself too in the mirror. The cleanliness can also come, it also means how you look. So do you look like the six-figure hairdresser that you're striving to be? Is your station relaying that message to your guest? I mean, really, I feel more at ease when, the stations are nice and in order and everything is in order. And because normally when you have stuff all over your stations, it just causes scramble and anxiety. And I've seen it too. So really looking at your 5x5 stage right there, and how you feel that looks.
Bringing a little Van Michael into it. There was
Right.
there was another saying that we had is always live a $500 attitude. Your outfit may not cost $500, but act like it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, the next one. So adaptability. So adaptability in regards to staying on trend, and why it's important to really be able to adapt to the trends and make sure you're aware.
I mean, I think that back in the day, what was trending used to be sort of more difficult to find. Either you're reading the latest fashion magazines, you're connected to a fashion mecca like London or Paris or New York, and you're literally living it, right? That's how it used to be. Now you can be anywhere in the world and know exactly what's happening on the runways of Paris and Milan and London. And honestly, in today's world with social media, by the time it gets to the runways, it's almost already done. Like if it's in a magazine, it's done. So your clients have the exact same amount of access to all those trends in hair, makeup, fashion, spa, everything that you do. And we know that they're on their phones and getting that information. So if you're not aware of this, that's when you get into a dangerous place, because you're just taking orders. You're like the barista taking orders, and you better get their service right or you're going to be out the door.
Exactly.
And so you have to pay attention. You have to maintain that level of sort of prestige and knowledge around fashion, or you're going to diminish your value. That's just how it is.
Yeah. And, point like simply, it goes back to, are you even going to be able then to service your guests? If you can't, like what shags are in all of a sudden, like if you don't know how to do a shag and you have like 10 people asking, what are you going to do about it? I keep thinking about this whole texture conversation and how it's huge now and it's so big. And what are you going to do if you don't adapt and learn any of that?
You're going to lose clients is what's going to happen. You're going to phase
you're
out.
Gonna have the clients you don't want.
You're going to be irrelevant, and
right. That's what, that was good. Irrelevant. Yeah.
And it doesn't take that much time. Honestly, if you're a hairdresser, have an Instagram account, follow Neil, follow Aveda Artist, follow Hairbrained, and follow Elevate Hair. And you can actually get all the trends that are out there. You can actually be on the forefront of that information and not be in the dark and not be embarrassed when your client asks to do a service or to do a technique and you have no idea what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be that person.
Yeah. I love that. All right, the last one. This is the word that makes everyone cringe, but it's very important. Sales. I mean, the reality is we are salespeople.
I mean, I think if you're this far in this break room conversation, us talking about sales, we probably don't need to talk to you about it, because you're already committed enough to know that this is also a job. I mean, that's why it's the greatest job in the world. You get to come into work every day, be creative, change people's lives, express yourself as an artist. That's awesome. There's not that many people that get to do that. And the potential we have to change lives, I mean, it's just massive. But if you're just giving it away for free, it doesn't do anyone any good. I think now, and Alberto, you probably can speak more to this than I can, because getting a trim isn't as serious as getting your roots done. How much more valuable are we to our customers today?
Yeah, I always think about it. It's not thinking in terms of sales, but providing solutions.
Yeah.
That's what it really comes down to. You know, I think when you shift your thinking that way, it just kind of comes naturally. And talking to your guests, I'm like, you know, I'm product obsessed myself. So I never assume somebody else isn't. You know, if you want a new shampoo and you want this, I'm gonna show you and direct you. Whether or not you make the choice to buy it is on you, but at least I'm always gonna offer it.
Yeah, so I think it's really important for everyone to be proficient in, what products that you have on the shelves, what products work well for your guest, and because we are giving solutions to beauty problems, challenges, people that might want some new things. I mean, I know my girl, she has sold me on products that I would never thought I would ever buy. Sap moss and emollient, guys. Right?
And body brow.
Right.
Never in my life that I think I would. I'm like, now I need more because I'm already out on my sample.
And she like explained to me like why this works well with my hair. And I was like, she just sold me. Wow, this is great. So really understanding and being well versed in all of the products and services that you do offer really, really will, take you a long way. And just we'll delete the word sales. We're solution providers. So, all right. Well, we went over, guys, on our time, and really just want to kind of reiterate the importance of this break room conversation. It's about to be a busy time. Go back and look into your soft skills and, challenge each other, talk to your team about it. What do you need to dig deep and work on? Because we're coming on a season where we're going to have a lot of new clients and potential to have a really good next year as well. So we want to make sure that you guys are set up for success. All right. Well, happy birthday, Tatum.
Thank you.
And we'll see everyone next week. Bye.
Bye.